Thank
You're
you
so
for your
sweet.
persistence.
Thank you. All right, let's try this again. Just find a nice, comfortable spot as you settle into this 15 minutes, and my apologies for the technical
Oh,
difficulty. We'll take
no
our full
problem.
15 plus minutes here because our well-being so important, not in a selfish way. This is self-care, not selfishness, being acted out right now is with this practice. So big difference there. Noting that difference, noting that as you improve your well-being, you're right there with others because you'll be able to be a better person and have more tools in your toolbox as you face those challenges that we all face in our day-to-day lives. Absolutely. Might want to start with a few stretches, just a little movement, gentle movements with your head, maybe both directions. This is a great little launching point, I feel, to connect with your body, kind of wake up your brain to just kind of turn in a little bit more, feeling the sort of muscles in your neck, turns your mindset to feeling. Yeah, I love that one, Nancy. Little extensions there. Nerve flossing, I think somebody told me.
Oh,
Feels so good. Yeah. And then we can come and just sort of turn that focus from those bodily sensations to our breath and then our mind, and just notice that connection that happens as you focus on your breath and turn your attention to your breath and see and feel and just be in that lightness that gets sort of created. Sort of that third eye gaze. A little more attention to the space rather than the conceptualizing, analyzing parts of you, other parts of you. These skills, all important. The one right now we're drawing our attention to is sort of the letting go of some of these typical thought processes and opening ourselves up to notice the other types of thinking, the openness, the awareness. Finding yourself in a nice, comfortable position, balanced, supportive, the little lift of your heart. In this practice, we're going to reflect on self-inquiry. You know, I like really embracing the mindfulness program, Healthy Minds program here, the framing our well-being around awareness, connection, self-inquiry, and purpose. And weaving those pillars into our practice whenever we can, sitting or a little active practice throughout your day. In this practice, we're going to consider our thoughts, notice when they arrive and pass by. This self-inquiry draws us to self-knowledge. Reading, listening, learning from others, all very important We can also learn from ourselves as we reflect. So, taking this open awareness and then reflecting on our thoughts. So, turning in. So, we kind of improve, give ourselves a chance, an opportunity to improve the sense of self by understanding that our thoughts don't necessarily define us, even though we often think they do. And then we can look at the relationship between our thoughts and our self, sense of self, self-worth. So as you might be noticing these thoughts, there might be patterns in them that shape your experience. It can be that some judgments or memories sort of affect how we see our memories and we see ourselves. And if we look a little more carefully, we can notice this and choose when to let them pass by or when to not to let them pass by and just hold on to them a little bit more by choice. And so the point there is just not being in their grip. It's not necessary that our thoughts affect our experience. It's not something you're a victim to. If you find yourself dwelling too much, being caught up in a thought or two, just come back to your breath and rest a bit in open awareness. Connecting yourself to those sensations. It's the feeling of the air coming in through your nose, feeling your lungs expand just a little bit, feeling what movements happen, even the subtle ones as you let the air release. And then come back to that reflection. What's happening with your thoughts right now? Perhaps there's some images. Notice how they come and go. And when they hold us in our grip, I'm sure I've experienced this. It's really easy to forget that they actually do go. So this practice of noticing that they come and go will help develop that skill. So when you happen to be in that moment where you are swirling around and ruminating, or then you just might notice that you are, and then you will remember that can pass by. You can let it go, and it will pass. Remember, we're not here to change our thoughts or change our thinking. So we're not trying to change them, but we're just letting them go. And so we let go of being controlled and trying to control them. And sometimes there's space between those thoughts. Be aware of those pauses. It's almost a moment when your lens is broadening its focus and broadening the perspective. That moment where you're not really looking at anything, there's just kind of a spatial sense. And now just rest and open awareness. Just let go of those reflections. Notice your your posture. Notice your lightness of your heart, softness in your face, and openness in your mind. This self-inquiry helps us dissolve those boundaries of our normal sense of self and helps us open our mind to the mysteries around us that we live in: space, matter, space, so much space. If one atom was the size of a stadium, the amount of matter would just be the tip of your finger. All those atoms forming molecules, forming the matter. Can bring a sense of awe when we reflect upon it. How much we don't quite understand about the world around us. This can be humbling. To just know we're a small part of a greater whole. But that can stir up awe and lead us to a sort of self-transcendent emotion. Now just rest for a few more moments, doing nothing, just being present and aware. Remember, our thoughts can color what we see and how we see ourselves, but they don't define us. And they are just passing experiences. So as we step back from time to time, we can do this throughout our day, just with a breath or 3 breaths, and sort of untangle our sense of self from them. Namaste.